All right, we have a lot to talk about tonight as we talk about Brian Kemp and Stacey Cagle and all that is going on. Our analysts, LaDawn Jones and Mike Hassinger, are here. Always great to have you guys on board. What do you think tonight? I mean, it's surprising. Cagle wins in May and gets absolutely pummeled tonight by Brian Kemp. We saw Kemp by our poll as having a lead, but certainly not demonstratively. You know, we had him up by about 4 points. I mean, this is a complete rout tonight.
Absolutely. As a Dem, they look the same. These look like two candidates that are running the exact same race. And I started hearing over the last few weeks that the wind was behind Kemp, and we see that he was absolutely right. I wonder how much the Trump endorsement helped with that or hurt that or made any changes in any way with that. It was quite surprising to see that big of a lead.
I brought this up with Doug Richards a moment ago. The Clay Tippins tape did not help Stacey Cagle. I think a lot of people listened to that. A lot of people were concerned with what they heard, what they have been seeing from the candidate, and then what they hear in private.
Even if it wasn't bad policy, the idea of a secret tape kind of adds an element of mystery and salaciousness to this race. Yeah,
concern.
It's Nixonian, exactly, a good term. And all the cards fell in Brian Kemp's favor. And sometimes you can attribute that to skill and voter desire, and sometimes it's just luck.
So, LaDawn, I'm thinking about what you just said about President Trump. Is there a great concern then for Stacey Abrams in November that if Donald Trump has that kind of pull in 2018 still in a red state, that's problematic for a progressive?
Is extremely problematic, especially considering that his endorsement came out right in the middle of the whole Helsinki incident, right? That would be something that would turn voters off and make them say, you know, I don't think I want. If that did not turn off the GOP voters, then I don't think there's anything that will turn them off enough to stop them from coming to the polls that will give Stacey Abrams the lead that she needs.
Agree with that?
I do agree with that. I think we are looking at a very tight battle in November between Abrams and Kemp. Not only are they philosophically on opposite ends of the spectrum, but Stacey Abrams has made a big deal out of the New Georgia Project and registering voters and making voter participation and voter access to the ballot her sort of issues, all the while accusing, legitimately or not, Brian Kemp of purging voter rolls, legitimately accusing him of breaching voter data and privacy concerns, not once but twice.
So you've got two candidates here at the polar extremes, one way to the right, the other way to the left. So you've got the great divide in the middle that describes a lot of Americans, even a lot of people in a red state like Georgia. How do you appeal to them if you are these candidates and you don't necessarily play toward the middle?
So I think that Stacey Abrams has made it clear from her primary election that her goal is to get out those already strong Democratic progressive voters, not trying to get those in the middle to come to her side, but simply doing what she tried to do with the New Voter Project, is get those like-minded voters registered. There is no middle there between these two, and the only way to win will be to really push your side of the envelope. Kemp, on the other hand, is probably going to excite a whole new group of people who said, we want to keep this state red. He made this race about the finances, loose liberals with loose pockets versus keeping your money back, is what he said in his speech.
And rural Georgia votes in governors historically. Maybe that changes this year, maybe it doesn't.
No, I don't think it'll change this year. I think, as I said, it's going to be a battleground state, and it's going to come down to the wire, and it's going to be hammer and tongs. Who can excite?
Hammer and tongs, I like it.
Going to excite their base and grow their base, not convert anyone in the middle to come along, just expand their base.
I'm going to squeeze 20 seconds more out here. Duncan and Schaefer, I'm surprised at how tight that is. You know, Schaefer, well-known in politics, very active on the campaign circuit. Jeff Duncan, a Major League Baseball pitcher, quite frankly, not known by a lot of people.
That's right. Considering the governor's race was so wide in the GOP election, it's very surprising. What that says to me is that Jeff Duncan did a good job at getting voters out since he was an unknown name. He may have excited that same type of base that wanted something new and not the same politician.
Is that drain the swamp kind of theory?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and Schaefer, as an experienced politician, is vulnerable to any charge of being the swamp. I thought that Duncan's charges and negative campaign ads were over the top.
They're pretty tough.
They're unfounded, a lot of the accusations, completely unfounded, but they appear to be working right now.
And 89% of the vote is in. It's still 50-50.
Yep.
Who knows how it's
Anybody's guess.
Maybe a recount.
LaDawn, Mike, thanks a lot. We always appreciate your great insight. Thanks for coming in tonight.
Thank you.